Although the looping on this version of the song is not good. This is from Kirby Forgotten Land. This game's been out for, well, I guess 2 weeks now. I don't 2 weeks I think, but there's only like one guy who uploaded the soundtrack. You would think a Nintendo game would get more uploads. There was a particular version of this song that I was looking for that nobody has even posted at all. But anyways, hi, welcome. Thank you for 15,000 subscribers. It is now at 15,100, which is crazy. So I would hope that some of those new people end up watching this, but if not, whatever. Today we'll be doing something vaguely similar to the tier list that we've done. Let me put on our royalty-free music before Nintendo gets me. There we go. So we will be using a website that I guess is like a subsidiary of Tier Maker that I found out about like a week ago. BracketFight. Poop emoji. So this is hopefully self-explanatory. It was just, this was made by somebody. I just saw this particular one posted on Twitter and I was like, oh, I should do that in a video. Oh no, I should do that on stream. So now we're doing it on stream. It's this massive list of animated movies on both sides that's gonna dwindle down to only one being the winner. There's a lot. And last time I did a tier list, it took me like 4 hours. So, you know, I'm gonna hopefully speed this up. There's also, I mean, to make things easier, a good amount of these movies I haven't even like seen. I probably have heard of them all though. It would be kind of bad if there was one that I just didn't even recognize. But it might mostly be Disney movies, or maybe even, no, okay, it's not only, yeah, of course it's not only. I put two things on a thumbnail aren't Disney movies. So let's get right to it. Let's see how hard it will get, and let's see what wins. Honestly, I think I just saw it scrolling through. My assumption is that like Up is going to win, but I'm not sure. I should also say that disclaimer, like, not only are there movies I haven't seen on here, there's also movies that I probably haven't seen since I was like an 8-year-old. So it's not like, you know, that there's gonna be recency bias here for sure if there's ones that like I saw more recently. And by more recently, I like probably I've seen all of these at least 2 years ago or longer ago. But anyways, let's get moving with two lovely JPEGs. So I've been able to stare at this one and contemplate it for a while because of how long I've had this tab open to do this stream, and I think, you know, I think I have a winner here. But I guess I've never talked about Big Hero 6 before, really, but it's good. But when was the last time I saw it? The last time I saw Big Hero 6 was probably like the year it came out. I definitely watched it on DVD at some point, so I've seen it beyond just theaters. And like, yeah, it's got an emotional hook, it's got fun designs, cool action and stuff, but it's not The Incredibles, you know? I think this is I feel like maybe more younger people would have a stronger attachment to Big Hero 6 who would say it's better. But Incredibles is, you know, it's one of those movies that I've seen probably like 20 times. So I think by default, that kind of just makes it better. But just in my eyes, you know, it's Pixar, it has a stronger style. It's oddly more adult, even though it sort of, you know, isn't. So we're going to roll with Incredibles as our first pick here. There we go. I was gonna say, does it not automatically go on to the next thing? Now this one's easy because fake animation fan alert. I've never seen Pocahontas, so Luca wins by default. And even if I did see Pocahontas, you know, despite the fact that it's 2D animated and probably looks amazing, so does Luca. And Luca has a very, very strong emotional hook to it that won me over significantly. So we'll give that to Luca because it's the only one I saw. Also here, I don't know who made this comparison. I don't know how these are two movies that could possibly be compared, but I have not seen the Aristocats, so we'll go with Rango. But also, Rango is just an incredible movie that I definitely need to see again. It's got to be one of the weirdest movies ever made, because maybe it has like an important director tied to it or something, and like that's how it came into existence. But if not, I'm just so curious about how this movie exists and how it like has the budget and writing quality that it has, because it's like amazing, and it's somehow a Nickelodeon movie despite having like lots of guns in it and stuff. It's a very very interesting case. Now, I mean, this is, you know, Snow White is the animated movie. It's the reason animated movies kind of even exist at all. But is it a love story about how being ugly is okay? Well, Shrek's not ugly. I didn't mean it like that, but that's kind of the moral. I don't know. You could read into it that way. Any of the I took a class in college that was dedicated to Disney movies. Also, I apologize if you hear loud noises. We're doing some maintenance in the house, and my dad decided to do it at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. now, but whatever. He could have done it all day. Not my problem. At least I'm not the one who has to work on it. Anyways, I had a college course dedicated to Disney movies, and I mean, yeah, you could talk about any of those classic Disney movies like forever. You could have an entire class that's just about a single Disney movie, but you could also have an entire class about Shrek, and I would sign up for that. So there we go. All right. I was about to say I haven't seen either of these movies, but no, I have seen Sword in the Stone. That we did watch that in my class. But Oliver and Company, sort of much like Aristocats, like this one. What's like the other one? There's some other that not even Lady and the Tramp. There's like some other. There's a lot of just pet 2D Disney movies, and they're all the same movie to me. But I think the only one that I've seen 101 Dalmatians and Lady and the Tramp, and then I don't think I've seen any other ones. And those two I've only seen because of the college course I took like 4 years ago. American Tail. Yeah. I think that one too. But that's not even Disney, I don't think. Or is it? I don't know. I haven't missed yet. Thank you. 101 Dalmatians. No, I said that. Yeah, I've seen 101 Dalmatians as a part of that college class. And that movie, I think the only bad part about 101 Dalmatians is probably on this list somewhere. There's a moment in that movie where it's like dogs talking to each other, where like, you know, they like bark over the hilltops and like it reaches another dog, and then they bark over the hilltops and reaches another dog. And that sequence felt like it went on for like 20 minutes, and I was like, why is this, like, can they speed this up? That was like my one downside of that movie, but I did really like it. I oddly really liked Lady and the Tramp too, even though I definitely would have expected that not to be a thing I've seen. But anyways, Sword in the Stone, yes. I don't have much memory of it though. You know, there's like a witch in it. That's all I know. I have it on VHS. Now, once again, I don't know who made this tier list, but you cannot compare Bambi to How to Train Your Dragon 2. Although I have seen Bambi. I mean, Bambi is weird because it's like it's something we talked about in the college course. Is like it is extremely like heterosexual. Like it's almost an uncomfortable movie because of how much like mating season sort of focuses it has. It's very odd, but it is beautiful, and you know, it has the whole mom thing. But I mean, come on, we all saw the SpongeBob movie. Everybody's always like, oh, top 10 most traumatic moments. Oh, when Bambi's mom got shot and killed. No, it's when SpongeBob and Patrick were under the light and they were crying together, and then their tear turned into a heart. I mean, come on. And I'm sure something similar to that happens in How to Train Your Dragon 2. How to Train Your Dragon 2 I've seen when it came out, and then I don't think I've seen it since, but I mean, it's awesome. It was a goal of mine because I bought a DVD collection of all the How to Train Your Dragon movies. I definitely want to watch them and do like a set of reviews for them eventually. That's definitely something I want to do because I know that they're awesome, and I need to see them as an adult to understand more so why they're awesome. I've also never seen the third one. Speaking of third one, Kung Fu Panda 3. This hang on a second. This is actually hard. I have no idea what my opinion here is. This one might just have to come down to the fact that I've seen Ratatouille like 900 times. They also, as weirdly artsy as Ratatouille is, they played it on Disney Channel and like ABC Family a lot. So I've like seen Ratatouille a lot against my will. I don't want to say against my will because that sounds bad, but it's just been on my radar so much more than Kung Fu Panda 3. But Kung Fu Panda 3 is awesome, but also oddly in my head is like kind of a more forgettable one. Like I definitely have more memory of the first two. Again, apologies for the for the banging noises if that's even being picked up in the microphone. But like the main thing I remember about Kung Fu Panda 3 is that J.K. Simmons plays the villain, and the villain has these really cool like nunchuck like axes, and his theme song is like an Imagine Dragons song but played with Chinese instruments. But I thought that was really, really hardcore. So that's like the main thing I remember though, but I'm sure it has an emotional hook and stuff. But this probably has to go to Ratatouille. But this is definitely the first one that I feel like is actually sort of close. Like if I had a clearer memory of Kung Fu Panda 3, it maybe could have taken that. Okay, you're trying to, okay, now they're trying to kill me. I can say though, I've seen Nightmare Before Christmas recently because I had an MRI appointment at the hospital for something completely routine and not significant, and they gave me little VR goggles to watch a movie, and I chose Nightmare Before Christmas. So I got to watch Nightmare Before Christmas in extremely blurry quality while extremely loud MRI machine beeping was screeching in my ear. So that's my most recent memory of Nightmare Before Christmas. But also, it is a movie I've seen like a million times because I'm edgy, because I'm such a goth, you know. This is like a movie that I was like, oh my god, like that movie's crazy. But when you're older and you watch Nightmare Before Christmas, you realize that it's kind of weird. It's kind of paced weird. The voice acting's kind of weird. Like the music is awesome, but the progression of and the visuals are awesome too, of course, but the progression of the scenario and stuff, like it doesn't have a moral to it in the way that Kung Fu Panda does, like at all. And it's just strange, you know, like that's kind of the intent, I guess. Like it's supposed to be real, like that's something that people must like about it too, is that it's just so kind of weirdly different. But I kind of see its weird structure and like lack of very defined character kind of like as a bad thing, even though it's probably an intentional thing. But if we were comparing the video game, if we were talking about Night Before Christmas, Oogie's Revenge for PlayStation 2, then that would win. But no, Kung Fu Panda, much stronger emotional scenario and such. Night Before Christmas has the music and has the style, but I think the morals that come from Kung Fu Panda, the fact that they're still fresh in my head despite the fact that the last time I saw Kung Fu Panda was probably like 6 years ago, I would say that means something. That hurts too though. That hurts to make. Okay. Now this one, apologies for the noise, this one is awesome because I've definitely seen Tarzan. That has to be one that I have on VHS and like have seen, not as an adult for sure, but I must have seen it at some point. But Mr. Peabody and Sherman is like one of the best DreamWorks movies ever made, and I don't know if anybody has even seen it, but I only watched it once, so it's definitely one I have to watch again. But it's one that I was curious about for a while because I was like, oh, it's like a time travel movie, right? It's probably fun. And then I watched it and I was like, wow, they use every single possible time travel trope in a single movie pretty much, and I was not expecting it. And it's really funny and it's pretty stylish. Like it very much has like a Jimmy Neutron vibe to it. It was like I was watching a more modern version of Jimmy Neutron. It was very, very entertaining, and I've been meaning to do a video about it. It's definitely, I think multiple times that I've made like video idea notes, I always put review Mr. Peabody Sherman on it because I really like it, and I don't think anybody, nobody really. I mean, there's Blue Sky in the chat saying it's not a real movie. Yeah, it is though, and it's really good. Tarzan, I don't have memory of. It's probably gorgeous, probably more gorgeous compared to this movie, honestly. But does it have time travel? No. So there you go. Uh-oh. Now this is a hard one because I haven't seen either of these. Who's the guy putting Wallace and Gromit on here anyways? How many Wallace and Gromit movies are there? There's got to be a lot. Like, was this the one that was in American theaters? Yeah, I haven't. I mean, I must have seen Little Mermaid as a kid, but I have not seen it recently. I feel like the meme choice is to just say Wallace and Gromit is better because like the franchise is kind of a meme currently. But if I'm just gonna use my head and be like, okay, like which one would I think is better if I watched it? I would probably, or watched it and had current memory of it, it'd probably be Little Mermaid because I like the ocean and it's a musical and it's 2D animated. Wallace and Gromit is good though, no memes. I'm sure it is, but I haven't ever consumed any media of it aside from like meme clips I've seen online and maybe like the trailer for this movie before watching like open season when I was 3. But yeah, we'll roll with Little Mermaid here, then of course these are gonna lose later on. Okay, well this one's turning red. I have how long was my video about this movie? It was very long. Zootopia I haven't seen in a while. It's good now that now that we're older. It has very questionable politics, so I don't know. But yeah, Turning Red. I was rewatching Turning Red yesterday, and I fell asleep because I had to wake up early that day for work, and I was very tired. But like, this movie was good enough for me to rewatch it a month after I saw it. It's probably my favorite Pixar movie and one of my favorite CG like stylized movies ever made. Fantastic. 10 out of 10. We didn't watch Sleeping Beauty. We did watch Sleeping Beauty as a part of my college class, but I was absent that day. Then I remember coming back to class and we were watching clips of it, and I was really shocked by how stylish it was. Like just from the clips we were watching, it was totally different looking than I was expecting. It has a super medieval like art style. Like it looks like it's like a medieval like painting or tapestry or something. It actually looks really cool. But Finding Nemo is I mean, does Sleeping Beauty have to find her son who's stolen by a crazy dentist? Actually, wait, there's a Finding Nemo lore question. Was the dentist the one scuba diving for the fish, or does he just buy the fish from other people? That's a good lore question. But yeah, we'll go with Finding Nemo. Dinosaur versus Incredibles 2. Apparently Dinosaur's like really bad according to Doug Walker's review of it, which is the most recent memory of it I have because I must have watched him review that in like 2011. But me and my sister would watch Dinosaur all the time because we had it on VHS. But I could not remember a single plot point from it at all, or a character name or anything. I just know that it looks like that. I mean, look at him. Look at that guy. I wouldn't like this guy slapped your girl's ass. What do you do? So this goes to Incredibles 2 for sure. Although Incredibles 2, if Incredibles 2 ends up being pit against Incredibles 1, Incredibles 1 probably wins. Incredibles 2 is like weirdly too ambitious with its plot. Like its plot kind of leans way too much on being like directly like political focused and stuff. It kind of takes away from the family stuff, and it like introduces other superheroes, and it kind of seems like those superheroes are introduced so that they could sell toys, even though some of them are cute and stuff. But it's not really the best, but stylistically, yes, it's awesome. Blue Scout says Incredibles 2 was the second time I saw a movie in theaters twice, and the first time I did was Incredibles 1. Now that's weird. That's an interesting coincidence. But I saw Chicken Little in theaters twice because I saw it with like my friend once, and then I don't know what the first time I saw it was, but the second time I saw it was with a friend. And Chicken Little is a movie worth seeing in theaters twice for sure. Now this is a weird one because I watched Corpse Bride maybe even last year or like the year before, because it was on like it was on some sort of streaming service, and I was like, I want to watch a movie today. Oh, I'll watch that. And it's kind of really bland aside from the style and like the one musical sequence. It didn't interest me as much as I was expecting it to, aside from being like, metal as hell. Like, look at this like imagery, like it's awesome. But it's kind of in the same boat as Nightmare Before Christmas, where it's just like the scenario writing and pacing is like just kind of weird. Whereas Monsters vs. Aliens is like one of the most fun movies you'll ever see. I don't know how much it holds up because I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember when me and my friend first saw it, like it was the funniest thing we had ever seen in our lives. Like it, in terms of laughs I've gotten from a movie in a theater, like Monsters vs. Aliens and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs are like probably next to each other, and like those are the peak like funniest animated movies I've seen in theaters, at least because I was a kid, so I was more susceptible to laugh at things. Now that I'm older, you more so recognize when something is funny, but you don't usually always laugh unless you hear other people laughing or something. But that's the tragedy of turning 22. But yeah, Monsters vs. Aliens for sure. It's just more iconic to me. Like, this movie has awesome style, but Monsters vs. Aliens is such a blast. This is a hard one too, but they're also completely like, they're not comparable at all. Oh, Blue Scout says the Invisible Man joke is S tier joke. Yeah, that's in Monsters vs. Aliens, where they Bob thinks that the Invisible Man is hanging out with them, but he's actually dead, and he's just been dead and sitting in that chair for years, and like Bob just didn't know. Like that's a very, very, very awesome and bizarre joke. But there's so many other great jokes in it too. I mean, there's the when the president plays Axel F on the keyboard, that was like the funniest thing in the world. Again, hope is that construction noise too loud? It kind of seems like it might be, but I can't do anything about it. Emperor's New Groove is awesome. It's so weird. Like, I don't know when I watched it, but maybe like 2013 or something I watched it, and I was so shocked by how much meta it had. Like, I did not expect it to be as funny and as out there as it was, but it is an awesome movie. But Inside Out is Inside Out, and Inside Out isn't Turning Red. That might even be what this comes down to, is Inside Out versus Turning Red. But yeah, I definitely like Inside Out more. It's gorgeous. It came out around my birthday. It's iconic. I also feel like I gotta speed this up more because we're not even on the other side. I haven't seen this Ninja Turtles movie. I don't know why it's on this list. I don't know if it's a thing people like, because I don't think I've ever seen it really mentioned at all. But Coco is amazing. Coco is I feel like Coco is such an awesome source of like education about like death and moving on and stuff like that. Like, not only is it just like a cool, gorgeous mystery and a great like capturing of a culture and stuff, but like that's what my video for it is about. I'm drilling now. That's what my video for it is about. If you show this movie to a kid, it's like a great way to explain to them how dying works, which is a weird thing, which is weird, but think about it. So Coco, is that like the first time something on this side won? All new animated short. Hold up. Wait, Robots might win because it's actually 2 movies. It's got an animated short. Again, these are movies that aren't comparable. Robots is apparently really good. I haven't seen it in a while. But Hunchback of Notre Dame is my favorite 2D Disney movie that I've seen, but I doubt any of them will top it because it's extremely gorgeous. It's extremely grandiose for like no reason. Like the music in this movie, like not the musical music, even just the the like there's just choirs and everything. Like, it's so grand. And I mean, I guess like everyone says, the only thing that drags it down is the weird comic relief characters that have to be in it because it's a Disney movie. But if they weren't in it, it would be like an extremely dark movie. So like, it's sort of welcome, I guess. Yeah, this is like one of my favorite things that Disney has ever made, and it's rated G despite like having cuss words and stabbing and being about hell and lust and stuff. Like, it's an awesome movie. Well, we watched Fantasia in my class, and I haven't seen Princess and the Frog in a while. I know the thing about Princess and the Frog is that like its plot is weirdly overly complicated, even though it's about a princess and a frog. Like they add a lot of magical elements into it and stuff. There's a lot of characters and stuff in it. Like that's something I know. That's like the predominant sort of complaint about it. But it does have the Friends from the Other Side song in it. That is true. Fantasia is technically not even a movie. And I don't even remember. Like, I think I only remember like the thing with the devil, and obviously the Mickey Mouse like broomstick thing. I don't know. It's a hard one. It's a hard one because this is a cool thing, but I don't know. This is like oddly more iconic to me. Like, would I ever rewatch Fantasia? If I was in like an art student mood, yes. If I wanted to just watch a movie, I'd watch Princess and the Frog. All right, Monster House versus Meet the Robinsons challenge, Impossible. Did these come out in the same year? Why does it kind of seem like they would be like the same movie? Right? Like I could see the guy from this like being in this, even though this has like the weird motion capture style. But this is one that's gonna be kind of unfair because I don't think I've ever watched Monster House in full. Monster House was on Cartoon Network a lot. But also it's scary. So I think I was like scared out of watching it like when it was a new thing. And then when it just started rerunning on Cartoon Network all the time, I never caught the whole movie. And Meet the Robinsons was on Disney Channel like all the time. There's so many movies that are on Disney Channel all the time. But it is awesome. I need to watch it as an adult because I think I would really love how quirky it is. But also it just has a really adorable message, and it's more time travel. And you know, I think all the goofiness and the time travel and the message and everything would win me over more, even if I had seen Monster House. I think now that I'm older, the horror elements of this would actually be significantly more interesting to me. But you know, I think it has that cringe motion capture animation and probably like kind of cringe characters and stuff. So I'll roll with Meet the Robinsons. I'll also take a quick sip of water because I'm talking so fast. Okay, I don't know who put The Wild on here, but I've not seen The Wild. Also, it's a Disney movie. Let's go, The Wild. Listen, I'm sorry. I hate to disappoint you, but I haven't seen The Wild, so it has to lose by default. But if it's actually good, I guess I'll have to watch it eventually. I didn't know it was a Disney movie. Are there 3 Madagascar clones? Like, is there Madagascar, The Wild, and something else, or is it just Madagascar and The Wild? I wouldn't know, but yeah, I haven't seen The Wild. I'm not the biggest Frozen fan, but like, you know, it's kind of cool. It's about snow and stuff. I like snow. It sucks. Okay, okay, it sucks. All right, so I don't have to feel bad about giving the answer that probably everybody on planet Earth would give to this question. Lilo and Stitch versus the Iron Giant, but it's like the book, I think. Or is this the movie? Who's Ted Hughes? Is Ted Hughes a voice actor in it or something, or is that like the author of the book? Iron Giant, the iconic thing about Iron Giant to me is the fact that my sister and I supposedly rented it a lot on DVD as kids when that was a thing you could do, and it was very emotional to us. but I don't remember anything about it. You know, anytime I see like a really cool like 2D animated clip online, I'm like, oh, what movie is that from? And it's from Iron Giant, and I'm like, what? The Iron Giant has more characters in it than just the kid in the Iron Giant. But yeah, it has to lose because I haven't seen it in forever. But I don't know if and Lilo and Stitch I've seen like a million times, and it's awesome. They're both alien movies though, in a way, so this is actually a good comparison. But I think, again, apologies for thinking in the background. I don't know what would I think now that I'm older, I think Iron Giant would probably win because of the stronger emotion to it, but I don't know. Lilo and Stitch has like the quirkiness, and that, you know, quirkiness always wins me over. And Lilo and Stitch is also like the only movie, like one of the only movies about Hawaii, which is just an awesome place. All right, two movies. I'm gonna say I haven't even. This isn't even fair. Is that the sound of your dad raging at Call of Duty? No, it's the sound of my dad tearing apart our countertops because we're gonna get new ones like tomorrow. I feel like this is the one scenario where I can say a movie I haven't seen is better, because Rio can't be that good, right? Also, Blue Sky, you're the one who told me, right? Like, Rio is about this species of bird like going extinct, and then in real life the bird is actually extinct now, which is just so tragic. That's horrible. But yeah, I don't know what happens in Rio. I've definitely seen Rio like once. I've definitely only seen it when I saw it in theaters. I think I've seen it in theaters, and I don't think I've ever seen Rio 2. Treasure Planet, like, probably is awesome. I would probably love it if I watched it. So we're gonna say it wins. Who cares? And again, I gotta stop talking in detail about every movie, but that's why I like doing this. But yeah, I gotta speed it up, or we're gonna be here forever. I'm of the opinion that the things Illumination makes aren't really that bad. Like, maybe they don't put effort into it or whatever, but like, they entertain. Would I watch them like more than twice or even more than once? Probably not, but they're totally like okay movies. Maybe that's why everybody hates them, is the fact the fact that they're like impossible to actually despise. But yeah, I don't know. Despicable Me 1 and 2 are good. 3 was good. You know, there's creativity in them for sure. It's not just like an empty shell, aside from like these bean dudes. But I mean, Wall-E, like, come on, like, you're talking to me about Wall-E? Get that guy out of here. I haven't seen Tumblr Grinch. Why is that so hard to say? That's a sequence of words that's hard to say. I haven't seen this. I've been meaning to forever though. How old is it now? This is one of those movies where like every week I was like, I should finally watch that Grinch movie. And then, like, you know, 4 years have passed and I just still haven't watched it. Also, it's Illumination, which is something we forget about. Wait, there's 160 of those parrots still alive in captivity. All right, we're safe. Rio did its job. The birds are alive. My story about Cars is that even before it came out, it was kind of when, like, I discovered the internet. Like, I don't know what made me learn that Cars was coming out, but I became so obsessed with it, and like I went to the Cars official website. That'd be I wonder if the Wayback Machine has that. That would be so nostalgic for me to go on the Cars official website from 2006 or whatever. It'd use it again. I remember there was like a thing where it gave you a magnifying glass and you could click on characters, and like this big poster that had every character in the movie. If you clicked on them, they said lines, but some of them didn't say lines, and I was always like, no, what's that character sound like? I gotta know. I don't know if that sticks out to me a lot. I use that a lot. But Cars was like awesome, but then the movie came out and it like was not what I thought it would be, but it's still definitely good, but it's definitely weird. You know, it's kind of it feels weird to say it, but it's kind of comparable to Incredibles and Ratatouille, where like the actual content of the story and the way it's written and stuff just seems very like different from what you would expect not only just Pixar to do, but also just like, you know, you look at this poster and you think it'd be way more of like a race car movie, but it's actually a movie about like the countryside in like a lot of like retro technology and stuff. There we go. Cars better than Tumblr Grinch, which I haven't seen. Pete's Dragon I have not seen. I have it on VHS though. Jungle Book I have seen for my class. Jungle Book, extremely off-putting movie when you watch it as an adult who lives not in, you know, what year did this come out? Like the 60s or whatever. Like very, you know, I have to say it wins just because it's the only one of these I've seen, but it's not a movie that is endorsable at all. I don't know who, what kind of comparison is this? You know what? I would assume that that's another thing along with How to Train Your Dragon. I gotta do like a Madagascar movie marathon. Circus Afro, exactly. The number one thing to come out of the movie, Circus Afro. This is also back when every movie was in 3D, which I still think they do, but they don't advertise. But back then, all of a sudden, you know, like in like 2011, every single movie was like, see it in 3D so that we can charge you, you know, like $20 extra to go see it. And you're like, well, if it's the only way I can see it, then I guess I have to. But I mean, Up's one of my favorite movies like ever made. Again, Up, one of my favorite movies ever made because of how freaking weird it is. Like it is such a weird movie with completely weird concepts going on. All right, this is a hard one. And I'm gonna be hated for it. Probably, maybe. Chicken Little, iconic. It is weird. I haven't seen it in a long time. I've definitely, even just because it's a newer movie, I've definitely seen the Lorax more times than I've seen Chicken Little. But the Lorax is a musical. You know, I mean, it's probably not good when you're an adult. I know it has the whole Tumblr stuff with the one slur, yada yada, but I don't know. It's iconic to me. It's iconic to me more than Chicken Little is. So I'm sorry, Chicken Little. I hate to leave Chicken Little on the sidelines here, but I have to go with Lorax, almost just because it has music in it. Honestly, if something's a musical, it's an automatic like 20 extra points, no matter the quality of the humor in the film. I'm gonna check the once-lore tag on Tumblr in the year 2022 real quick. Oh, don't worry, I'm absolutely sure there's still people drawing lustful things of him, which, you know, they could do what they want. Another unfair one, because I haven't seen Goofy Movie in full. It's been on TV a lot, but I never saw the full movie, but I got the gist from what people post online about it. Apparently it's deep. But I think Soul has to win just because I've seen it. But honestly, Soul disappointed me because Soul was like too complicated. I weirdly felt like they tried to do too much in Soul, and it ends up being kind of boring, and it also turns into the main character turns into an animal movie for like 20 minutes, and it's like, why did they have to do that? But you know, it does have, I mean, it's gorgeous visually. Like, it's insane how good it looks, that's for sure. B-Movie versus Frozen 2. Yep, still there. The Onceler's still there. Perfect. He's never gonna leave. You know, how bad could I be? Is still in my music playlist that I listen to. All right, once again, we gotta speed this up. Frozen 2, Dipper's voice actors in Frozen 2. That's the most iconic thing about it to me. B-Movie, B-Movie's a weird movie. I probably have equal vague memories of both these movies, but I think B-Movie wins because it's weird. You know, I think I don't know. I feel like most normal people would say Frozen 2. But these are kind of both movies that I feel like I'm a little indifferent to. But B-Movie has like the meme factor to it, you know. Frozen 2 has some good songs, though. You know, it's got the musical advantage. But have I like listened to any of them after seeing the movie? No. So there we go. Okay, I have not seen Ice Age 4. I assume an Ice Age movie marathon would be fun too, especially now that I've been marathoning paleontology videos for no reason. But Road to El Dorado is like a fantastic movie. This is a fantastic movie. And the first time I saw it was in class. We were learning about, I guess these are both I mean, this is an archaeology movie more so. But we're in middle school. We were learning about, you know, ancient civilizations, and like we use this movie as an example of like trying to see what ancient civilization the characters went to, but it was the place is actually like a combination of a ton of different ones. So we had to see like which elements were real and which ones were made up for the movie and stuff. And you know, the fact that I liked the movie enough to also remember the homework assignment I had for it means something. Also, I think my teacher was convinced it was a Disney movie, even though it's a DreamWorks movie. Yeah, awesome movie. Again, another Tumblr movie, probably. I haven't seen How to Train Your Dragons 3. I don't know if it would win this out because I really like Monsters University as well. Like, Monsters University is such a weird movie, but it actually has a lot of heart to it. And it's like it's a scenario that Pixar is never going to have a context to ever do again. So I was glad that they did something so weird, and it has a really, really nice moral about like how sucking a lot is good. I mean, wait, being bad at something is good. I'm trying to talk like Jake with the whole, you know, sucking at something's the first step at being good at something whole ordeal. But yeah, that's a great movie. And the Monsters Inc. TV show that may or may not be getting a second season that was on Disney Plus, that ruled. I oddly have a weird love for the Monsters Inc. cinematic universe. Bolt versus The Lion King. You know, this is a cancelable take. My cancelable take of the moment is that I think The Lion King is like not good. Like, it's gorgeous, but it's like the most straightforward movie you will ever watch in your entire life. Like, there's not anything actually super great about it. Like, it's a very iconic thing for like kids who grew up with it, but you know, it's not that good. But then again, neither is Bolt. You know what does Bolt have? Bolt has Miley Cyrus as the girl character, and that's it. Bolt has been on Disney Channel a lot, so that's the only way I've seen it, but I can't remember much about it. It's probably kind of funny though, but as much as even though I don't like Lion King too much, we gotta roll with Lion King. Oh really? It just makes me keep doing this side of the bracket? I wasn't expecting to do that, but yeah, okay. I guess that makes it easier because these will be fresher in my head. Monster University kicks ass. I don't care what anyone says. Yeah, right? That's the 2022 opinion right there. Is that Monster University is like B tier Pixar movie, and then Turning Red is the only S tier one. This is hard. I mean, there's definitely recency bias here, but I think Luca is better. Like, Luca is so adorable and pleasantly simple, whereas Incredibles is adorable and super stylish and cool, but it has like a little bit of complexity. You know, like, it definitely has a plot that I didn't understand as a kid. Luca, you know, if I watched it as a kid, maybe it'd be boring, but I don't know. Now that I'm older, the sort of anime inspired simplicity that, you know, that Luca has and like many other movies are starting to have appeals to me more. So I don't know, maybe might be blasphemous, but I'm gonna say Luca here. This is rough. Maybe this is why it was laid out this way, because the person who made the list knew it was going to end up being these sorts of comparisons. I probably like Rango better, but I haven't seen it recently enough. Like, Shrek is just so strong and iconic at being what it is and having the morals that it has and like the weird comedy and stuff. But Rango is somehow weirder, you know? And I love that weirdness. But again, I haven't seen it recently enough, so I don't know if it's fair to pick it over Shrek. But you know, everybody would pick Shrek. I don't know. I wish I could skip. I don't think I can skip ahead and come back to something. But I think I have to say Shrek just because of the fact that I haven't seen Rango in a while. But if I had seen Rango recently, it probably would have actually won out there. All right, Sword and Stone, How to Train Your Dragon 2. Okay, How to Train Your Dragon 2. It's sort of. I probably like Kung Fu Panda more. maybe I've seen Ratatouille more times against my will. In a good way. But Kung Fu Panda might be stronger to me. Ratatouille versus... I don't know. Ratatouille's kind of boring, isn't it? Like, it's good that it's kind of in the Luca boat, where like the fact that it's boring is a good thing. But I think the moral values and just like Kung Fu inspirations and stuff in Kung Fu Panda are more appealing to modern day me. Okay, this like a Disney fan would like cut off my toenails for this. I always resort to nails. Why do I do that? Against my will in a good way. Yeah, exactly. Because it was on TV all the time. And when you're a kid, you have no choice but to watch Disney Channel every waking hour. But I'm gonna say, I think honestly, even if I saw Little Mermaid, it would have musical, advantage. Mr. Peabody Sherman, time travel weirdness. I gotta love it. Turning Red's probably gonna end up winning this side of the votes, but we'll find out. But I do like Turning Red more than Finding Nemo. How much more? It's definitely funnier. I think even just that, the fact that Turning Red will probably make me laugh out loud like the next 20 rewatches I have of it. Finding Nemo's awesome. It's even though it's kind of old, it's still very gorgeous. Like the sea imagery and stuff, and the concept is very straightforward and enjoyable. And it's got Gil Munka, but yeah, Turning Red for sure. Recency bias. I don't even think it's recency bias because I just really think Turning Red is awesome. Again, I haven't seen Monsters and Aliens in a while, but it stands out more to me. Incredibles absolutely has better style, but in terms of like what I would watch, like if these were two DVDs in front of me and it was like you got to watch one of these, I'd probably watch Monsters and Aliens. Okay, no, this is why. Okay, this has to be why this person formatted the list this way, because this is an extremely hard choice. But I've seen Inside Out more times than I've seen Coco. I think it kind of. I think Coco makes me sadder though. I think now that I know the gist of Inside Out. Monsters vs. Aliens 2 in beating Incredibles 2. Insane respect for you. Thank you. No, I'm not gonna be like a Disney shill here. Don't worry. I can respect all these movies. Like pretty much every movie on display here is awesome. But Monsters vs. Aliens is just such a pleasant weirdo time, and anything that's weird is fantastic in my book. But yeah, I don't know what to say about this. I guess Inside Out Inside Out is significantly more relatable, even though I never moved to a new town, so I guess I don't relate to that part. But it being like a story about the importance of nostalgia and sadness, whereas Coco is, I guess, also about the importance of sadness. It's prettier too. This is hard. But Inside Out came out a day before my birthday, and Coco came out way later. But Coco has Remember Me in it. Man. Very, very, very tough. I don't know what to do. Should we roll a dice? Or should we just say, oh, there's a vacuum or a drill or something. Apologies again. I'm gonna roll with. We're gonna go Inside Out. I think Coco makes me sadder, but I think conceptually Inside Out is more appealing to me. Okay, Hunchback Notre Dame's like one of the best movies ever made. Apologies for that drill if it ends up being extremely audible. Meet the Robinsons wins because it's weird. Frozen, Frozen's a strong movie, but it's not. It doesn't really do anything for me, I guess, aside from the musical aspects of it. I haven't seen Treasure Planet. This is hard because if I've seen Treasure Planet, why did he have to do? Why did my dad have to do this stuff at nighttime? Anyways, if I had seen Treasure Planet, this would probably actually be a tough decision for me. But Lilo and Stitch is so adorable, and I just love it. I mean, I guess Treasure Planet's also an alien movie, but I don't know. Lilo and Stitch has really cool aliens in it. Maybe Treasure Planet does as well. I mean, well, okay, Wall-E. Wall-E wins there. Up wins here, absolutely. Oh no. I can't just let Pixar take everything, can I? The problem is that the Lorax, like if I watch the Lorax as an adult, it probably isn't good. But it sticks out to me more than Soul did. Even I've only seen Soul once. I mean, Soul is gorgeous. Lorax is a musical, and it's weird. Not your fault Pixar makes bangers movies. Yeah, but they didn't make the Lorax. Anyways. Okay, I definitely like Road to El Dorado better here. Okay, I'll like this is an awful take. This is a very awful take with Monsters University. Okay, even just the simple fact that Monsters University like has a moral that I can take, whereas Lion King like what's the moral in Lion King? Like get married? Like is that the moral of the Lion King? This is again tough. I don't want there to be like recency, like privilege here for Luca, but I think Luca, like even though as much as I'm saying I like weird stuff, Shrek is a very specific, like marketable brand of weird. That is based. I agree. All right, so we're completely based so far. Well, we have to see what the other side of the bracket holds. If my voice can even handle talking for another hour. I think Luca's more me, you know? Shrek is good, but I think Luca's more me. How to Train Your Dragon 2, again, I have like Kung Fu Panda has to win. I haven't seen Dragon 2 in a while. Now this is tough. You know, you would not think that would be tough. But Turning Red has Turning Red made me cry. Turning Red made me cry because the animation is so good and because it's emotional at the end. So, you know, multiple tear-jerking moments from this movie, which makes it win. But my love for Peabody and Sherman isn't going anywhere. Or is this going to be based again if I say Monsters vs. Aliens is better? It's hard though, because like Inside Out has the emotion to it. Monsters University final act is one of the best Pixar acts of all time. It really is. You would totally not expect the direction Monsters University takes. Even before the emotional stuff of that movie happens, it's still just cool. It's still just such an interesting gimmick and scenario of having a scare school and stuff. Whether or not college school storylines are kind of an overdone thing, that perspective on it is awesome. It's gonna make me a Pixar shill, but Inside Out makes me cry. Monsters vs. Aliens is awesome, but anything that sheds tears has to technically be better. I think even if I've seen this movie recently, this would still win. Hunchback is just so awesome. Hunchback is so awesome. Oh, aliens. Oh, Tulip's here. What's up? I just got back from watching the new Kaguya-sama episode. Welcome back. I'm glad you watched that because I talked to you about this specifically, but Kaguya-sama Love is War is like now my favorite comedy anime, and I mean this season just started with a banger for sure. I loved it. I realized there was a vacuum in the background. I apologize greatly for my dad deciding to do construction work on the house at 8 p.m., 9 p.m. now, when he could have done it all day. But again, I can't complain because at least I don't have to be the one doing it. So yes, apologies for the obnoxious noise. It's probably been pretty obnoxious. I'm very sorry. But we'll trudge through it. As long as my voice can be heard, we'll try to live. Tulip, what's better, Lilo and Stitch or WALL-E? My heart says Lilo and Stitch. WALL-E, as strong and beautiful visually as WALL-E is, I mean, the common complaint for WALL-E is that, like, oh, once the humans get introduced, like, it gets kind of worse, right? Like, I don't think that. I don't have that sort of opinion of it. Lilo easily? All right, good. I'm glad we're on the same page here. Like, Lilo and Stitch just has the weirdness through and through, and a surprising emotional hook to it, and aliens. WALL-E, despite being about space, doesn't have aliens, you know, so that's definitely something. It has very cool sci-fi designs. It's a very cool sci-fi scenario, but I think Lilo and Stitch just oddly ends up being more interesting. I mean, WALL-E has such a direct storyline, you know. Lilo and Stitch can take that for sure. Okay, Up versus the Lorax. Tulip just tuning in, seeing that the Lorax has won 3 times in a row. Yes, we don't have to talk about that. But Up is definitely better for sure. But the Lorax is, from my memory of the Lorax, it is a pleasant movie. Road to El Dorado versus Monsters University. Tough. My immediate instinct does say Road to El Dorado, but that might just be a 2D animation advantage and a musical. Oddly enough, yeah, El Dorado is a musical, kind of. Does it only have one song, or it has like a theme song and then like one musical sequence? I don't know, because Monsters University, like, these both have a lot of creativity on display. This has emotion and a moral, but this is all around more exciting, I think, and all around more visually interesting, even just from the fact that it's 2D animated. Oh, the vacuum's off now, thank goodness. I don't know. What do my viewers think of this one? Which is a better movie? Because again, Monsters University really surprises me. And I'm sure the more I watch it, you know, I probably haven't seen it that many times, but the more I watch it, I will probably like it more and more. But I think El Dorado, like, is cool. Monsters University is on a university. Monsters, easy. But we can't have Pixar just win all of them, right? All right, Tulip says El Dorado. Monsters University also, yeah. Man, I don't know. I think really I've seen both those movies exactly once. Okay. I think my take on it is that the way I feel about both movies is exactly the same, but El Dorado is 2D and Monsters University isn't. But Monsters University has an emotional hook. I do like El Dorado a ton, but it doesn't have the lake scene. Yeah, I know. That's like the one thing. I mean, no matter what, it's not like Monsters U is gonna win. Especially if I'm already this wary of it, there's no way it's gonna win this full side of the bracket anyways. So I'm gonna say El Dorado. I think it has 2D animation advantage, and like that's it. That's the only thing that made it a little better. Now this is rough. I think Kung Fu Panda 2 isn't even on this side. Is this tournament gonna end up being Kung Fu Panda versus Kung Fu Panda 2 as the final as the final one? It might. Yeah, obviously Luca like just came out, so I've seen it more recently than Kung Fu Panda. Luca is visually gorgeous, but Kung Fu Panda has the moral about, you know, trying your best. Pretty tough. Luca's probably more emotional. Kung Fu Panda 2 is more emotional than Kung Fu Panda 1. Like, I would say Kung Fu Panda 2 is better than Kung Fu Panda 1. This is tough. I think Luca is the thing to beat out Kung Fu Panda, but they're like so close. Do I even know what the other side of the bracket looks like? No. I tried my best not to look, but I will try to go through the next side of it a bit faster so we're not here for like 3 hours, unless we all want to be. Because I could easily talk about animated movies for like 3 hours, but I feel like I shouldn't do that. But anyways, I think Luca will take this. Because it's slightly more adorable than Kung Fu Panda is, but Kung Fu Panda is still awesome. And maybe it's recency bias as well. Okay, now this is near impossible. I think solely based on style, Turning Red takes it. Like, I think like they're both fantastic, but if we're gonna like add 1 point to like for there to be a big difference, Turning Red probably, oddly, even though Inside Out clearly has a more relatable scenario, Turning Red like made me more emotional as well. So Turning Red will take that, although they're both they're both quite close. But Turning Red is very funny and is very stylish. Now this is hard. My take on this, Inside Out is forgettable. Gasp. I mean, ultimately maybe, but is that controversial? I don't actually like know, but I really like it. But Turning Red's better. Lilo and Stitch wins with like on the emotional level and on the quirky alien level. But Hunchback of Notre Dame is so jarringly dark and like one of the best looking and sounding movies like ever made and that will ever be made. Like it's definitely my personal bias of saying Hunchback here, but I can absolutely recognize people wanting Lilo more. But Hunchback is much more, even though Lilo is about aliens, Hunchback is somehow more my style. I mean, Up wins. These both take place in South America. That's a comparison. Up oddly has more creativity too. Don't you dare? Don't I dare what? Say that Hunchback was better than Lilo? I'm sorry. I mean, El Dorado again. El Dorado just has awesome 2D animation for sure, but Up is more iconic to me. Up is more iconic. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that take. Man, this thing is structured actually quite perfectly for us to have really hard decisions like this. But I like Turning Red more, for sure. But you know, it's kind of the comparable thing that people keep saying is like, these are both Pixar movies that are very mundane, and that's a fantastic style that I hope they keep going with. But Turning Red, you know, its inspirations and stuff are way more in line with my interests and the things that make me emotional. Lilo and Stitch is the best Disney movie, fight me. Listen, Tulip, okay? Lilo and Stitch is like the second best to me, I guess. We don't even know what's on the other side. Yeah, I'll say Turning Red here, but those are both awesome. Tough. I mean, Up has the emotion. Hunchback's so cool. Man, this is hard because these are like actually like two of my favorite like movies ever made in history. It's like making me choose a child. There's a vacuum again. I don't know. I know Turning Red greater than Luca. Agree. Yeah, I mean, Luca is great. I think Turning Red is much more in line with like what I find funny and what I find stylistically appealing and stuff. Even though I just had Hunchback demolish everything, Up is very iconic to me. You know, it's very tough. because like the weird darkness and like how gorgeous Hunchback is what makes me love it. But I think the bizarre concept and emotion that Up has win me over a little more. But this is a musical advantage, 2D movie advantage. One of my favorite movies ever made advantage. I think I've seen Up more times too. I think Up has to take it. And now this is the final thing on this side. So this is very fitting, and I feel like it's not fair because Turning Red like just came out, but I love it so much. I think I feel like they both make me equally emotional, even though I've only seen Turning Red once, but Turning Red is so cool. Did my royalty-free music stop, by the way? It must have. I'll get that playing again in a second after I take a sip of water as well. What's chat's opinion here? Let me sip water and get the music going again, and you guys let me know what the correct choice here would be, and then I'll let you know what my incorrect choice will be. Turning Red demolishes easily. You're right on this one. I'm right in saying Turning Red. I just feel like it's too new. Like, it's not fair for it to win. It's way too fresh in my head. But yeah, just I think I think I like that. Like, we'll look at it this way. Like, I love them both, but Turning Red honestly might have made me cry more for multiple reasons. And it's anime inspired. And it's hilarious, and it's probably all those things more so than Up is, right? Like Up isn't anime inspired, is it? maybe it's Studio Ghibli inspired to a bit, but yeah, Turning Red will take it even though it's very recent, and that's not fair. What the heck kind of comparison is this? Okay, Pinocchio is a very morbid movie. I saw Pinocchio as a part of my college class about Disney movies. And it is a scary movie. It is a weird movie. I mean, it probably is based directly on the book too, but it's like, why is it a movie about a puppet boy who gets sent to a slave labor island where the boys turn into donkeys and smoke cigars and drink whiskey, and then the movie ends with like an old guy fighting a whale? Like, what on earth is this movie? Okay, do they fight a whale in Shark Tale? They probably do. But I have like no memory of Shark Tale. I watched the Shark Tale trailer recently for no particular reason, because it showed up on my TV's movie recommendations list, and I was like, what is Shark Tale like? So I watched the trailer of it, and I was like, I don't remember it being like that. But yeah, Shark Tale, definitely a movie that, like, it's about gangsters and stuff. So as a kid, when I saw it, I probably had no idea what was happening. But Pinocchio is freaking weird, man. Pinocchio is a weird movie. All right, here we go. Fake animation fan. I haven't seen either of these movies. Chicken Run definitely scared me as a kid, so I never watched all of it despite owning it on VHS. Atlantis, I've just never seen. Which one would I like better? I don't know. So Atlantis and Treasure Island are not like connected, right? Like they're not the same like cinematic universe or anything. You know, Atlantis was gonna have a ride, but then they canceled it. I didn't know that till. Because the movie failed so poorly at the box office. But if I had seen one of these movies, which one would I like more? I think Chicken Run has the weirdness advantage, but Atlantis has underwater archaeology, main character with glasses, 2D animation advantage. Treasure Island, God damn it. Treasure Planet, I get it, but Treasure Planet's based on Treasure Island, right? Is it not like a modernization of Treasure Island? the Muppets Treasure Island. Is that on this list anywhere? I mean, I haven't seen either of them, but I'll say Atlantis. If I saw one, I would probably like Atlantis more. All right, this is another cancelable take. I haven't seen Rise of the Guardians despite wanting to watch. Like, that's why I absolutely need to just have like a DreamWorks movie binge eventually, because there are so many of them that I haven't seen or barely have a memory of. And Rise of the Guardians probably, unfortunately, is one that I haven't seen. But it, like, you know, picks that go hard. Bugs Life isn't even like that good, you know. Dare I say, Bugs Life is like one of my, like, it's probably gonna end up on here, but rudely, I think Brave might be my least favorite Pixar movie, but that also would be a result of me only seeing it once in theaters and like it not being the movie I thought it was going to be. And that's kind of what everybody's opinion was. Maybe if I watched Brave again, I would like it more, but I think like Brave and Bugs Life, from my immediate memory of Pixar movies, are probably like two of my least favorites, surprisingly. I mean, Bugs Life is a cool setting, and I like the way that the villain gets like absolutely just murdered and torn to shreds by baby birds. Like, that's horrible, but but yeah. I also haven't seen Barnyard. That's on my list, don't worry. The original Party Animals. But I don't even know if I mean, I had to have watched Cinderella in my Disney movie class, but I don't remember it. I don't remember Bugs Life, but people say it's socialist, which is cool. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's definitely what I have to see again. You won't be canceled over Guardians unless you travel back to 2013 Tumblr. Good Dinosaur is my least favorite, but Brave is my second. Okay, I'm glad the consensus on Brave hasn't changed. But I weirdly liked Good Dinosaur. I only watched it once, but I went into it thinking that it would be bad. Like, I thought it was gonna be really bad, and then I was like, oh, this is like kind of cool. So yeah, that's one I have to see again though, because I've only seen it once. Yeah, Cinderella has to win because I haven't seen that, but I don't know if I've seen Cinderella either. So maybe that would have won. I don't know. Okay, Toy Story 2 wins. Absolutely. Toy Story 2 beats the 101 Dalmatians Platinum Edition DVD for sure. I don't think I need to justify that one. Osmosis Jones versus the Polar Express. Bruh. I don't know how recently I watched Osmosis Jones, but it is kind of gross. Like, the live action stuff is now kind of quite off-putting to me, but the fact that it's a movie about the human body will always be interesting to me, because that's a, you know, but that sort of biology is just something I always thought was so cool. So like when this had a TV show on Cartoon Network, I thought the TV show was awesome, and then the movie was on sometimes, and I was always like, oh, that's so cool. Is this like one of the only, well, I guess they make the Looney Tunes and stuff, but like this has to be one of the only like original 2D animated things Warner Brothers made for like theaters, right? Osmosis Jones versus the Polar Express. Talk about a showdown. Yeah, a showdown. Which one is more awful? Rude. No. I mean, Osmosis Jones even just has 2D animation advantage. Polar Express, you see like every day of your life. It just, you know, it has that Christmas vibe. It wins by default. Now Streamlabs is working, by the way. I don't know why it wasn't working this whole time, but there it is in the chat. But Polar Express, you know, Christmas is awesome. You know, snow is awesome and stuff. But I think in terms of my personal like feelings, Osmosis Jones is probably the take there. Okay, well, I mean, come on now. Come on now. I'm of the opinion that Ralph Breaks the Internet isn't as bad as people probably say it is. Like, I remember coming out of that movie being like, that was a cool movie. But now we see it as like the ultimate piece of cringe, like Disney propaganda content, which it probably is. And Monsters Inc. like just rules. So like obviously Monsters Inc. wins, but all right, Dumbo, The Fox and the Hound. I haven't seen Fox and the Hound, so Dumbo has to win by default. All sort of like Pinocchio, Dumbo is a weird movie. Like, you would not like all these some of these classic Disney movies, like I wouldn't want to show my kids them because they're weird, and like I don't see why a kid would like them aside from them being a moving picture. You know, like there's definitely way more modern movies that are actually like appealing. Stuff like this is, you know, a kid would watch and be like, oh, Dumbo's got that big ears, and like that's it. And then like, you know, I mean, it does. I'm sure both of these movies have extremely questionable political things about them, so they both should lose. But I'm gonna say Dumbo just because I've seen it. Why the hell is Lion King 2 on here? Well, I haven't seen either of these, but I would probably like Prince of Egypt more. And Prince of Egypt is one I've been meaning to watch. Even if this was Lion King 1, I probably would like Prince of Egypt more, even if I had seen it. I haven't seen either of these, but my, you know, based opinion is Prince of Egypt. Okay, I mean, come on, Megamind is absolutely going to be a finalist here for sure. Megamind is awesome, even though I haven't seen it in some time. You know, everybody talks about it now, so I'm always reminded of it. It's always fresh in my head. And I have never seen The Croods, although again, that's another DreamWorks thing that's on my, you know, a desire to watch it list. But it probably sucks, especially compared to Megamind 3D, specifically Megamind 3D. I have seen Ice Age: Dawn of the Dinosaurs. I don't know if I've ever even watched Ice Age 2 in full, but this is the third one, right? I've seen this one, like I think we saw it in theaters. But Jimmy Neutron is awesome. Like, Jimmy Neutron may be dated in some aspects, but it's just such a fun like kid movie. It's such like a Nickelodeon. Like, this is the vibe that Nickelodeon has to me, is that like kids go to fight aliens and save their parents. Hell yeah! Like it's awesome. Dawn of the Dinosaurs, I could not remember a single thing about, other than the fact that I know I saw it. And it introduced, oh yeah, Dawn of the Dinosaurs introduced like, maybe it only introduced one, but in my head I feel like it introduced like 90 side characters who all have their own franchises now. But maybe that's not true. I know one of them at least just got a Disney Plus movie, even though Disney shut down the studio that made it. And actually, a year ago today, that studio shut down because somebody posted about that for some reason, which is like very depressing. I don't know why G-Force is on. Yeah, hey, okay, I have a bone to pick here. Okay, I guess Osmosis Jones is live action as well, but G-Force is like mostly live action. Nothing else on this list so far has been mostly live action. G-Force should not be here. It's only here for the meme factor. Get the hell out of here, G-Force. G-Force better than Toy Story. Get the hell out of here. Buck Wild was there. My favorite movie hasn't shown up yet. I'm still to see if it's there. Oh well, we'll find out. You would not believe how many times I've watched Dawn of the Dinosaurs. Well, if it's more than once, then yeah, I don't believe it. Horn Hears a Who. The most iconic thing about Horn Hears a Who to me is that Tumblr post about how somebody just had a YouTube ad that was the full movie. I don't know why that's so funny to me. It's not even funny, but that's my most vivid memory of that. Shrek 2, yeah, of course. Shrek 2 wins for sure. I don't know what my opinion of Horton would be though if I seen it recently. I probably wouldn't like it, honestly, even though I like the Lorax. I watched the trailer for this recently because it showed up on my TV's recommended movies, and it was like weirder than I remember it being. It was also a really low quality trailer. Yeah, Shrek 2, like of course, like come on. Shrek 2, along with Kung Fu Panda 2 and Toy Story 2, like some of the best sequels ever made. All right, come on now. The Happy Feet, I'll give. So I was gonna say I'm gonna kick that penguin into the ocean, but that's not okay to say. I don't think I've ever seen Home on the Range at all, aside from trailers on VHS. Also, this is like, why is like it's so pointy? Everybody's so pointy here. I don't really know if I've seen Flushed Away in full either. My story with Flushed Away, that I've probably mentioned before. Horton holds up, but Shrek 2 wins. That's kind of surprising to hear, but I gotta see Horton again eventually. Who has seen Home on the Range? Nobody. Yeah, I'm sure. I feel like my neighbor liked it, but that might be, he might be the only person. But Flushed Away, when we saw Flushed Away in theaters, the popcorn machine in the lobby started smoking, and we smelt smoke from the theater room, so we had to evacuate. I mean, we didn't really evacuate. There was no alarm or anything. we just smelt smoke and we were like, oh, something on fire. Then we left and we like talked to the people in the lobby and they're like, yeah, like the popcorn machine's like burning. You guys should probably leave. And we're like, okay. And we left. And then like I've seen segments of it on DVD in PSI Blue Scout's car because that's one of the only DVDs that they ever had in their car. Surf's Up's a mockumentary, which is very strange, and when you're a kid that's something you definitely wouldn't understand. Coraline obviously wins, but I want to talk about Surf's Up for a minute here. I don't have any memory of it. I saw Surf's Up like on DVD when one of my aunts had to babysit me, you know, and she got it because she was like, oh, it's a movie, like they'll like it. And I was like, yeah, movie, cool. And then I liked it. I mean, you know, it's fine. But I mean, come on, Coraline. Like Coraline's like one of the coolest movies ever made. Unfortunately though, it's gonna lose some points here just because I haven't seen it all that recently. But it's better than Night Before Christmas for sure. Cars 3. Bruh. Wait, hit him with a bruh button? Bruh. I don't know if that worked. I remember liking Home on the Range killed 2D animation. Yeah, I believe it. I remember liking Flushed Away. Coraline is the GOAT. Coraline is the GOAT. Spoilers. That's the plot twist of the movie. Does Surf's Up 2 have Jeremy Shada replace the main character's voice from 1 or something? Probably. That sounds right. I don't know if I knew that, but probably, yeah, because it's definitely celebrity voices in the first one, and then the second one, you know, what that was a WWE crossover. They probably didn't have the main cast's voice, but they had like WWE actors in it. But that's worth watching for content eventually. Is like, remember Surf's Up 2? You know, that small period of time a few years ago where they just made a ton of WWE cartoon crossovers for like no reason. I have to drink water. We all know what wins here. So Cars 3 actually surprised me because it is actually a sequel to the first movie, more so than the second one is. And it had a less mean-spirited, like anti-technology sort of moral than people kind of made it seem like it was going to have. Like it was actually slightly more wholesome, but it has one of the most frustrating climaxes ever. Which, you know, okay, Cars 3 spoilers. But at the end of Cars 3, Lightning McQueen is in a race and he's like tired or something, so he goes to the pit stop. But instead of the cars fixing him up, his apprentice, this yellow car, she just joins the race for him instead. And they're just okay with that. And she, like, I don't know if she wins, but she takes his spot in the race. And you can't just do that. A pit stop wouldn't exist if you could just do a tag team on a race. You can't just suddenly be a tag team. Everybody else who has ever raced would just do that. It's total bull. It made me so mad, and I'm still mad about it. So screw you, Cars 3 suck. And Hercules is good. All right, now I'm pissed. I watched Hercules. There was a period of time where I was trying to binge like some classic Disney stuff. Like that's when I watched Hunchback and such. Hercules, I kind of feel like I didn't pay enough attention to it. You know, maybe I wasn't in the mood to watch a movie or something, but it's pleasant. It's a pleasant movie. All right, I haven't seen Land Before Time. I don't like that that's like a real dinosaur and then those are kid dinosaurs, but maybe that's just for the marketing. But I have seen Lady and the Tramp, and I oddly, you know, liked it. I oddly, surprisingly liked it. It's romantic, you know, it's nice. Uh-oh, this is hard. Uh-oh. Oh, we're really in it now. So my unpopular take that was revealed in my tier list video is that I don't really like Encanto that much. Like, I don't want to say at all. Hercules characters are like mean people. You know, Encanto like everything about it is good. It just kind of didn't do anything for me. But then again, Tangled, it's not like I've seen Tangled recently. Kind of tough. This is because Tangled's a musical too, right? I feel like if I probably like Encanto more, but that might just be a recency bias, maybe. As much as I'm not like the biggest Encanto hyper in the world, like everybody else seems to be, I might. Flynn is very funny. I remember that, but I don't have enough memory of Tangled. Also, this doesn't have the Disney logo on it, which is kind of bothering me for some reason. I don't know what's the take here. What's the take here? My heart almost just says Encanto because it's newer and like it looks nicer. I think the music in it appeals to me more, even though I'm not obsessed with it like everybody else ended up being. Tangled's a musical too, right? That tells you all you need to know. Yeah, I'm trying. I mean, it has like the mother villain song, and then like a peppy intro song. But yeah, we'll roll with Encanto, but Encanto probably won't make it much further than this. I have not seen Brother Bear. Encanto better movie, but Tangled show is amazing. Yeah, I gotta check out the Tangled show eventually. I know somebody I went to college with was very obsessed with it and like did cosplays and like walked around campus did a cosplay of like the boy from it. Tulip says, I watched all 14 Land Before Time movies on repeat as a kid. Then a couple years ago I went back and watched the first one, and the tone is so different from the sequels, and it's not good. I feel like yeah, because Land Before Time 1, like the mom dies, spoilers, the mom dies or something, right? It has an emotional hook to it that like doesn't, for sure, very likely doesn't exist in the 14 other ones, which there's actually 14 of them with all the same characters. And Tulip also said Encanto's better. There might be recency bias. Tangled's good too. Yeah, Tangled's like not bad, but I don't know. Even just on a musical level, Encanto is definitely better. Now, I haven't seen Brother Bear. Even if I did see it, I'd probably like Beauty and the Beast more. Beauty and the Beast, I was definitely expecting it to be more than it was. I think the strongest thing about Beauty and the Beast is like the climax when the Gaston, I almost said Gustavo. Gustavo's the guy from Big Time Rush. When Gaston like storms the castle and it turns into like an action movie and stuff like that. That hyped it up like a lot. Like that was a really cool climax. But the rest of it was kind of felt like a basic whimsical thing. It's really like the Beast and the Gaston that made this movie very. And I mean the animation throughout too is awesome. But like, you know, the story has to be appealing too, and those elements of the story were Blue Scout says, I want to eat the Lamb Before Time leaves. All right, yummy. I haven't seen Turbo. I need to, but I love Mulan. Mulan is so cool. In terms of like the musical Disney 2D things that I saw, Mulan's probably my favorite soundtrack. Turbo, another fake movie. Exactly. Who's ever seen Turbo? Okay, Brave has to win by default. I see what. Okay, yeah, they both got bow and arrows and they're both orange themed. Sure, fair. Turbo-tastic. No, that's the wrong Turbo. I guess for all we know, it could be the Wreck-It Ralph Turbo. But yeah, Brave has to win because I haven't seen Robin Hood. Despicable Me wins. Cars 2. I feel like Cars 2 might actually kind of be good, like as just a piece of entertainment, but it's not. It's not that deep. Trademark. I mean, I'm sure it's very deep because it's actually like it's about gas. Like people, like cars explode and stuff. Like it's very bizarre. But yeah, Despicable Me has notably more heart in it, surprisingly, than Cars 2. Finding Dory, Over the Hedge. I mean, Over the Hedge, I haven't seen in a while. I watched the trailer again because it showed up like on my TV. Blue Scout was with me watching a lot of these trailers too. The trailer made me realize how it seems like it's actually pretty appealing. Like it would probably hold up and be a pleasant watch if I watched it again. But Finding Dory is much clearer in my memory, and it's one of the nicest looking movies ever made. Like I bought a new TV recently, and the first thing I watched was Mitchell's versus. By the way, Mitchell's versus the Machines probably isn't even on this list, which is bull. But Finding Dory was the second movie I watched on my new TV to see how good it looked, and it looked awesome. But yeah, that wins. But Over the Hedge is probably, even if I had more recent knowledge of Over the Hedge, I probably would have picked it. I probably wouldn't have picked it, but that, you know, Over the Hedge seems like it would be an appealing movie to me because it seems my level of silly. Remember the Finding Dory lesbians? Now that you say it, yes, I do. Remember the climax of Finding Dory where the fish like drive a truck? Well, is that, like, it doesn't get better than that. I mean, come on. That's just what I love, is when something could be so weird like that. Like that climax moment of Finding Dory, but then also Finding Dory is like genuinely like about mental illness to an extent. Like it has a lot of heart to it, but also the climax is an octopus driving a truck and harassing a bunch of humans. Mitchell's was what I was referring to earlier. Favorite movie ever. I mean, it's absolutely one of my favorites too. And if I have to do Mitchell's versus Turning Red, we're going to be in trouble. We're going to sit here for like an hour and a half just talking about that. I liked Raya. And there you go. There's opinion. Noodle says best animated film is Lion King 1.5, baby. Well, Noodle, I don't know if you were here, but Lion King 2 was on this list. So Lion King 1.5 could be on this list, but I haven't seen it, so it would lose by default, unfortunately. How to Train Your Dragon must be better. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I feel like it would probably have a bit more heart and stuff. Raya is cool. It was surprising. Like, I surprisingly liked the characters that kind of found family, but more so like, it's more so like an ensemble of like a ton of completely new characters, but it's like it worked really well. Like it's thoroughly entertaining. But How to Train Your Dragon probably ends up being more memorable, even though Raya has like $1 trillion. Okay, extremely goofy movie. Is that like the X Games one that like was sponsored by X Games? Like it loses by default. Although I don't have much memory of Madagascar 2, but again, I hope to eventually. But I have seen Madagascar 2. I have not seen that. Okay. Ooh, that's rough. I think Kung Fu Panda 2 wins by default just because of how jarringly dark it is. But Wreck-It Ralph is awesome too. But you wouldn't expect these two to be very different movies. But Wreck-It Ralph definitely is more of like a comedy, and Kung Fu Panda 2 is more of like a cinematic experience, you know? As weird as that sounds to say, but I would definitely pick Kung Fu Panda 2 here for sure. I don't know why Jungle Book 2 is here. We're gonna act like it's not even there. We're gonna say Madagascar. I definitely have more memory of Madagascar 1 than any other Madagascar movie. But not too much. All right, Aladdin versus Lilo and Stitch 2. I probably haven't seen Lilo and Stitch 2. Stitch has a glitch trademark. But Aladdin's awesome. You know, Aladdin is awesome. Unlike The Lion King, I watched Aladdin and I was like, yeah, okay, I see why everybody's obsessed with this. Like, this kind of rules. Aladdin is a great time. I guess, can I scroll this to the side so I can like see us progress? Oh, we're actually almost at the end. Ice Age the Meltdown versus Peter Pan. Peter Pan, again, you know, when you watch it for a college class, you realize how horrible it is, like in terms of values. But it's 2D animated, and Ice Age the Meltdown is not. I also haven't seen Ice Age the Meltdown like in full. So we'll get the Disney bias. Then we have Toy Story 4 in open season. What's the consensus on Toy Story 4? What do people What do people say? Noodle says I ranked Tangled over Encanto. Somebody's gonna kill me. Nah, maybe modern age people would, but I could see that as being very fair. The only reason I picked Encanto over Tangled is because I just don't have much memory of Tangled. But I feel like I like both movies equally, but Encanto would win because I like the musical stuff in it more. Yeah, there is no Mitchells versus the Machines on here. Which is very lame, but it also would have ended up being hard. Woody was simp of the year for leaving with Bo Peep. Yeah, but it's like still a good emotional hook. Spoilers. The only reason Mitchell's isn't here is because it would have swept. True, absolutely true. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen open season, so I mean, like, you know, it's not, you know, how many open season movies are there? Are there 3? Did they do a WWE crossover as well? But no, I love Toy Story 4. I think I was very, very pleasantly surprised by Toy Story 4. All right, Ants versus Ice Age. Weird. I don't have enough memory of either of these movies. But if I was just thinking from my personal, like, I like weird stuff a lot, Ants is really weird. I think I've seen Ants more recently because I feel like I put the VHS in at some point, or like it was on TV or something. I was watching it like a little bit, but Ice Age I definitely haven't seen in like forever. Ants is scary. Ants is very scary. Ants is creepy for sure, and it's like, you know, you don't realize it when you're a kid, but when you, I think Nostalgia Critic reviewed it, when Doug Walker reviewed it, it taught me that like everybody in it is some sort of celebrity, and their voice acting is mostly probably kind of bad, but I mean, you don't know that when you're a kid. Ants has very scary bee characters. Look, he's even on the box art for some reason. Those bee characters, I mean, I hate bees, I hate wasps, they're terrifying to me. So like those characters in this specifically were creepy to me. I mean, both of these aren't going to go far on the bracket anyways. I guess Ice Age is about like them taking care of a baby. It has like more heart. I don't know. I'll say Ants. I probably am more familiar with it, even though I probably have seen both equally. But it's, you know, I remember the Ant Bully more than Ants. Tulip, you might be the only person who could say that, because who even remembers Ant Bully? You know, Ant Bully was made by the guy who made Jimmy Neutron. I didn't know that until I listened to an interview with him. Isn't that like that movie failed so bad it shut down his studio? The part with the dude's decapitated talking head, yeah, in Ants, exactly. That's why Ants kind of wins there, because it's got the weirdness, like decapitated people speaking. Okay, I haven't seen Atlantis. I wonder if it would win if I saw it though. But like Pinocchio's again is one of the weirdest movies ever made. But it has to take it because I haven't seen Atlantis. Bug's Life greater than. I mean, you don't have to think about it. Toy Story 2 is so awesome. It's just like the step up from Toy Story 1 to Toy Story 2 is like so cool. Like Toy Story 2 is such a bizarrely interesting scenario. And one, it has a scenario that you would think would be confusing to a kid, but it actually like kind of isn't. In Osmosis, I mean, it's got cool 2D animation. I like biology stuff. But yeah, Toy Story 2, I mean, come on. Noodle says her winner was Wreck-It Ralph. Very fair, even though I made it lose to whatever it was against. But it was a hard choice. What did Wreck-It Ralph 2 go anywhere on yours? Noodle. Okay, Monsters Inc. better than Dumbo for sure. I haven't seen Prince of Egypt, so Megamind has to win. But even if I did, Megamind would probably have still won. This is a rough one. I mean, Toy Story's just more iconic, but Jimmy Neutron still rules, you know? I think I probably like both of these equally. As odd as that sounds. I think Toy Story just has to take it because of Disney advantage. I don't know. What's the take? What's the take here? I'll say, I think Jimmy Neutron somehow is more creative, but Toy Story is like, you know, it's too iconic to deny. Now this is rough, but the unfortunate fact of the matter is that I have more memory of Toy Story 3, and I mean, come on, Toy Story 3 has the sad ending. It's got the sad ending. I mean, come on. But I mean, Shrek 2 is awesome too. So that's tough. That's probably more so just Toy Story 3 being more vivid in my memory for taking that. Shrek 2, I'm sorry. I haven't seen Shrek. If I saw Shrek 2 within the past year, it would have won. The I Need a Hero segment. Ah, she's right. Wait. I take it back. Oh, wait, I can actually take it back. Okay, yeah, I take it back. I get Shrek 1 and Shrek 2 mixed up. You're right. Shrek 2 could take that. Fine. Although I do appreciate how weirdly dark Toy Story 3 is and its emotional ending. But yeah, okay. Shrek 2 has more creativity on display. I mean, Coraline, of course. Dude, imagine the person who would choose Flushed Away over Coraline. Yeah, could it be me? I mean, it depends if I saw Flushed Away recently. This is just structured so that it can be really hard at the end, though, because Coraline's going to be against something that I don't want it to be against. Coraline might be against Shrek, and I'd probably pick Coraline. Personal preference type deal. Now, what wins here? Like I said, I didn't pay enough attention to Hercules when I watched it, but Hercules is more fun. And like, you know, like all these older Disney movies are, Hercules is probably has less questionable political aspects to it. So I'll say Hercules, but Lady and the Tramp had like some wholesomeness to some aspects of it that I was very surprisingly interested by. But we'll take Hercules. Pleasantly goofy. We will take Beauty and the Beast here easily. We will take Mulan here easily. We'll take Finding Dory here. I mean, we gotta maybe find one of these that isn't just flooded with Hercs on a roll. Yeah, exactly. There we go. Good reference. Yeah, Finding Dory has sea creature advantage, but Despicable Me 1 is awesome. Madagascar 2 versus How to Train Your Dragon. I had to think I don't know why I had to process that, even though I have no memory of Madagascar 2. Kung Fu Panda 2. Aladdin, easy. Toy Story 4, easy. All right, let's go. Now we're in the big time. Let me take a sip of water again. All right. This is rough because I did say that I didn't like Bugs Life that much. But I don't even know how much I like Pinocchio. I just remember watching it in class a few years ago and being like so shocked by its content. Like it's such a bizarro movie. Bugs Life is definitely much more straightforward and probably, you know, is more of a movie, you know. I think we'll pick it, but they're probably on the same level, honestly. Tough. I think Toy Story 2. I think probably most people would pick Toy Story 2, but I think Monsters Inc. is closer than other people. I like Monsters Inc. more than I think other people would in this comparison. Excuse me, but I'll still pick Toy Story 2. Just that simple concept of Toy Story 2, like the characters being separated and like going across like a toy store and like the roads and stuff to like reunite, and like the crazy collector guy being the villain. Like there's a lot of appealing aspects to it. But Monsters Inc. has heart to it too, and it's you know, it's got a pleasant amount of weirdness and spookiness to it and stuff. Now, even without having seen it recently, I am easily of the opinion that Megamind would take that. Even though Toy Story 1 is iconic, Toy Story 1 is such a straightforward movie. You know, Megamind makes you use your mind a little bit, just a little bit. It's also probably funnier too. I mean, even just the simple fact that like it's more modern. You know, it has like more modern sense of humor that would vibe with me more than Toy Story's like very straightforward stuff. I would like to see though the original version of Toy Story that they wrote, where Woody was like a complete jerk. I would like that to be made. Now this is again a rough comparison. My memory of both of these movies is probably equally vague, but Coraline is like much more me. Like Shrek 2 rules, but I'm goth. I'll keep telling myself I'm goth even though I'm not. Oh, that's hard. That's hard, but I think Beauty and the Beast kind of... I watched all of Beauty and the Beast, whereas when I watched Hercules, I like zoned out for some moments of it. But it is awesome. It is goofier. It kind of... It has a... You are goth, though? Thank you, Tulip. I appreciate it. Like... Hercules is more stylish and sillier, but Beauty and the Beast is like more straightforward and pretty. And I don't know how it's iconic, you know. It's iconic. They're both awesome. I definitely have to see Hercules again. Now this is hard. I think Mulan though. I think Mulan even wins out just because it's like definitely Mulan surprised me of how much of it was like actually kind of an action movie. You know, like it's barely like a princess movie. You know, like that's how Disney wants to categorize it. But like it's very much actually just more of like a like action movie. Finding Dory has awesome animation, but Mulan has awesome animation too. But Mulan is a musical. There we go. All right, look, listen, maybe many people would be this. I mean, this has to be a hard one, right? I'm sure this is a very hard comparison for anybody, but Kung Fu Panda 2 not only is fresher in my mind, but I think even if I saw Dragons more recently, I probably would like Panda 2 more, just because of how weirdly, you know, again, like weirdly tense and cinematic it is. Like I'm sure Dragons has a lot of cinematic stuff to it, but you know, it's a very straightforward plot when you get down to it. It's about, you know, the geeky guy who like gets the cool girl because he like gets emotionally attached to a dragon that he wasn't supposed to get emotionally attached to. You know, like it's portrayed awesomely. I'm sure I need to see it again, and I will hopefully see it along with many other DreamWorks things again soon. But yeah, Kung Fu Panda. Let's go. Po is destroying. It's also not fair that there's like so many sequels on this chart. Like they put Jungle Book 2, but they didn't put Hunchback of Notre Dame 2, huh? What's that supposed to mean? Now that's a hard one, because I mean obviously Toy Story 4 is more recent in my head, but Aladdin like might be better. And when I say might, but Toy Story 4 came out a day after my birthday, so it has birthday release date advantage. It's, you know, it's, I forgot Forky was in it. He's a good character. Tulip says Aladdin. Aladdin is a musical. Yeah, I think just in terms of a, like as a movie, you know, like Aladdin is just better. Toy Story 4 is great, and it's like frighteningly gorgeous. But yeah, Aladdin might actually be stronger, especially if I went and watched it again. Okay, Toy Story 2 wins. Oh, come back. Toy Story 2 wins for sure, but Bug's Life is, you know, still pleasant. Now, okay, this is the spicy stuff. It's gonna be really spicy when we end up with whatever is gonna be against turning red here. But I don't know, because these both again aren't fresh in my head, so I don't really know what the right thing to say would be. I think Megamind, though, because it's more fun. You know, like, Coraline's kind of one of the only movies on this entire list here that's more tense. You know? I feel like when I think of, like, I love myself darker movies for sure, but I kind of reserve that kind of interest for anime because it's more often that anime is like that. So since this whole list is, you know, Western stuff, in my head I'm just like, I'm thinking of how much I like how goofy Western movies can get. And Megamind is like, not only is it like kind of like peak goofy, it also has like strong moral values and interesting subversions and stuff in it. Coraline is gorgeous and pleasantly very frightening, but I think Megamind stands out to me. And even if I watched both of these like recently, oddly I'd probably still say Megamind, so we'll go with Megamind there. I like Mulan more, kind of easily. I like Kung Fu Panda 2 more. All right, here we go. Ooh, all right, the spicy one. Toy Story 2 versus Megamind 3D. We had 3D specifically. Who wins? What's the consensus here? What do we feel like here? I think nostalgia makes Toy Story 2 win. I think Toy Story 2 is my pick here, but Megamind is still like awesome. But Toy Story 2 is just so strong. You know, it's hard, very hard, very hard to beat Toy Story 2. But what do we think? I think I'll roll with Toy Story, but Megamind is still fantastic. Both Chinese movies, actually, huh? What did it just both similar, surprisingly. I think the biggest advantage Mulan has here is that Mulan is 2D and it's a musical. But Kung Fu Panda 2, it's like somehow so strong. We're saying Kung Fu Panda 2 again? Yeah, it's kind of got to be Mulan. I'm glad Mulan ended up this high on the ranks, though. Like, Mulan is absolutely easily one of what I've seen, like one of my favorite 2D Disney things. Like, it probably goes Hunchback, Lilo, Mulan. Lilo and Mulan interchangeable. I think Lilo has the sci-fi advantage, so it would be Hunchback, Lilo, Mulan as like my top 3 2D Disney things that I have seen. But yeah, we'll go with Kung Fu Panda here. And then here we go. And now it's gonna be Kung Fu Panda 2 versus Turning Red, or Toy Story 2 versus Turning Red. Two of the best sequels ever made, going head to head. Who will take it? I don't know. Because obviously I've seen Toy Story 2 so many times, so like it has that advantage of being a very nostalgic movie. You know, I've maybe seen Kung Fu Panda 2 like twice, but Kung Fu Panda 2 is so cool and it's so dark. You know, it has, these are each the best movie in their franchises. Exactly. It's tough. They're also both franchises that are, oh no, Toy Story has 4 movies. Never mind. Toy Story 4 is too recent to be like a nostalgic thing, though, so we can act like it doesn't exist temporarily and say that these are both trilogies where the second movie is the best one. But I need to watch it again for sure, because it's not the freshest thing in my head, but Kung Fu Panda 2 is just so cool. And Kung Fu Panda 2 is part action movie, part comedy. Like it has a slightly more elements that appeal to me, like on a personal genre interest level, than Toy Story 2 does. But Toy Story 2 is still extremely strong and creative. But I think Kung Fu Panda will take it. But then we're gonna have to do Kung Fu Panda versus Turning Red. Wait, Kung Fu Panda versus Turning Red challenge, impossible. I mean, I don't even know what I feel so wrong saying Turning Red because it's so new, but I loved it so much. And I mean, our chat wasn't afraid to say like Mitchell's vs. Machines is so new, but it's so awesome too. Like, I don't know, because aside from the sort of jarring action movie darkness stuff that Kung Fu Panda 2 has going on, like Turning Red sort of has kind of very similar scenarios going on. Panda versus Panda, exactly. That's it's, who knew? Who expected the two panda movies to be at the top? It all comes down to Jack Black versus a red panda. It's tough. It's hard because stylistically Turning Red appeals to me for sure more. Like I would rewatch Turning Red more often than I would Kung Fu Panda. But that's a result of Turning Red being much more of a fun movie compared to Kung Fu Panda 2, which is somehow the movie called Kung Fu Panda 2 is somehow the darker movie of these two. But Turning Red made me shed tears. I don't know if Kung Fu Panda made me shed tears, so that's something. I think just my strongest concern is the fact that Turning Red like just came out. Like, is it fair to say it's better? I think the problem is that it's just from a personal appeal factor, Turning Red has so much more going on in it that it feels like it was made for me specifically because it's so absurdly cartoonish, you know? It's so pleasant. Kung Fu Panda 2 destroys me emotionally. I need to see it again to have my emotions destroyed for sure. It's just the last time I saw it had to have been around when Kung Fu Panda 3 came out. Also, where's Lego Movie? Yeah, hang on a second. If Lego Movie was here, it absolutely would have ended up in I don't know if it would have ended up here, but it would have absolutely ended up. Like if Lego Movie was against Kung Fu Panda 2, I don't know what I would have done with myself. But yeah, there's absolutely movies missing from this. But this was very focused on Disney movies, but also had a weird cherry picking of Disney movies because Jungle Book 2 and Jungle Book 2 and Lion King 2 were on this for some reason. Yeah, Waffles for Lunch is saying Kung Fu Panda 2 is the personal best of the series and the best DreamWorks film. I can easily agree with that too. I mean, based on how this played out, it has to be the best DreamWorks movie from the ones that I've seen. But I'm sure the DreamWorks movies that I haven't seen, aside from the How to Train Your Dragon 3, the DreamWorks and maybe Rise of the Guardians, maybe not. Most DreamWorks movies that I haven't seen probably aren't even that good, like, you know, Turbo and Home. My friend watched Home recently and said it was awful, but I was interested in watching that for a while because it's about aliens. You can't go wrong. Yeah, they have meme sequels on here, but they're missing some masterpieces for sure. But they definitely just focused on putting Disney on here. Should we roll a dice? Or should I follow my heart? Home is a weird guilty pleasure movie for me. Honestly, because of how much I like goofy stuff, I probably would like Home more than my friend did, at least. The pacing is so bad and you can feel it, but it's fun. Yeah, exactly. That's all I need from a movie is for it to be fun. You know you want Turning Red to win, no need to rationalize. Yeah, I know. So Turning Red takes my heart. I mean, just watch my 20-minute video about it to understand why I found it so appealing. But it is the first movie I've seen in such a long time where I was just like, wow, like this is a movie. Like the people who made this movie like loved it so much. They made sure they could put everything that they wanted to into it. And Kung Fu Panda is basically in that same boat, even though you wouldn't expect it from the movie called Kung Fu Panda 2. But yeah, we'll let Turning Red win. And now it's asking me to download an image. I'll do, if it lets me do that later on, I'll do that. But there we go. But this is so hard. This would even be harder if Kung Fu Panda 2 was fresher in my head. Home annoys me because all my substitute teachers would only play that film, and now I hate it with a passion. That's awesome. We watched like Shrek a lot in school. I feel like Shrek was a very common school movie for me. Here we go. We can run down our rankings. Really, actually, surprisingly tough stuff. It would have been a little more pleasant if there was like less of an abundance of Disney on here, especially like weird, like, you know, like Sword in the Stone and stuff. Like, who, like, is somebody gonna pick Sword in the Stone over like Ratatouille? Like, come on. Maybe like an old person, but we're not old people here. We're cool, hip cartoon fans. But yeah, there we go. I mean, these final two, again, it's so tough. It's just personal preference that Turning Red like has the anime inspired silliness factor, heartfelt craziness that like made me love it. It made me cry because of how good the animation was, and that's like the most pathetic thing I could ever say, but it's true. But also Mitchell's versus the Machines and Spider-Verse kind of gave me that same sort of reaction too, and neither of those were on the list. So this whole list is void because some of my favorite movies weren't even on it. But there we go. There we go. That took exactly 2 hours. That's perfect. That's perfect. I mean, I can look very, very quickly like what else this website has to offer. What other kind of stuff can we get out of this? What kind of content? Best NFT? What's this? Best okay, it's best NFL player. I thought it was cut. The L was cut off, so I thought it was about NFTs. But it's best NFL player. No, that doesn't work for me. Pokemon ones. Best Disney princess, best movie franchises. I mean, that might be kind of interesting. It'd be an interesting turn for me to like talk about movies. Although I know what would win this easily. I also haven't seen many of these, but that's a shorter one. Call of Duty games. Come on. Some of these are questionable. There's also lots of Five Nights at Freddy's ones. Best anime protagonist. We could. The problem with doing an anime one is that there would absolutely be a lot of anime I haven't seen. But yeah, I think I've been talking a little too much to be able to do another one of these, but right now. But I mean, that was fun. It's always that's what doing the tier list a few months ago made me learn, is that doing these are so fun. Doing these sorts of things. I think I like this more than a tier list too, because it forces you to compare things that you would have never thought you'd have to compare, like Flushed Away and Encanto or whatever the comparison was earlier. Yeah, this is a fun. I definitely think I prefer this over tier list, and I could easily see myself doing some more of these on some other streams. But my voice is tired from talking for 2 hours. I apologize for the fact that like the first hour and a half of this had construction noise in the background. That was probably really unbearable, but I'm glad it stopped. I'm glad you all tuned in. I'm glad we had some good conversations about some tough choices, very very intense moral things occurring during this battle royale here. I don't know why I mean, that's what the tier list is called. It's called Movie Battle Royale Bracket Fight. I pinned it in the pinned chat message that you guys probably see. So hopefully you guys can fill out your own, or you had fun, you know, watching along with me and sharing your opinions on my bad opinions. But that was really fun. I'll absolutely come back to this website at some point and do more. Maybe even at a point this week. Flushed Away sweeps Encanto. I mean, easily. Dare I say, it flushes Encanto. But yeah, every time I stream, I say this, but like, I gotta stream more. It's just streaming takes a lot out of you, because I had to talk for 2 hours straight. I never do that unless I'm streaming. so it's very hard for me to be in the right sort of mindset and mood to want to do these, but it's always extremely fun when I do, and it's always even better when you guys join in and chat along with the craziness that we're doing. So yeah, we'll be back with more extremely niche comparison streams for sure. Thank you guys very much for watching. Please stay tuned for more videos. I will have I mean, because we're getting our house worked on, it'll be hard for me to record stuff this week. So I don't know what I'll do for a new video. I have a Pibby, you know, because everybody loves watching my Pibby stuff. I have a new Pibby video ready to part 2 of the part 1 that I put out. So that's, you know, that I have to edit that. That'll come out. Our Owl House weekly review will come out on Wednesday, like it always does on Wednesdays. Then I don't know. I have to try and toss something else in there. I know I said in my Cuphead review, you know, like 2 months ago, that I would do a review of the entire series. So I have lingering guilt of the fact that I still haven't done that. So maybe I should do that. But I don't know how relevant that is anymore. But yeah, there's plenty of stuff to get through. We'll have some more videos. Maybe I'll try to toss another stream at some point this week, because you know these are fun, and I gotta get back to doing these regularly so we can just have more fun hangout times like this, because it's great to feel like we got a little community of cartoon fans going on here. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.